Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation, the Type 2 Gold and Silver Eagles, the new OBVERSE changes for 2021. Let's explore! This is an article from Coin World that gives us some insight about the changes that will be coming to the obverses of the gold and silver eagles. We know about the massive changes for the reverse. That's been talked about quite a lot. But the obverses have been reimagined based off the original St. Gaudens design. And I'm not really too thrilled on it based on what I've seen. But we're going to look at this article from Coin World. Here it says the proof 2021 American Eagle gold and silver coins with the reverses of 2021 clearly differ from those with the 1986 introductory reverses, but the differences don't end with the reverse. The obverses differ as well, fulfilling what Mint officials said earlier would be a refresh of each design, and the edge is also involved. Side-by-side comparison of an image of an obverse 2021 American Eagle reverse of a 1986 gold coin with an obverse image of one of the soon-to-be issued reverses of 2021 coins illustrates the differences. We'll look at them closely here in a moment. One prominent revision for the reverse of 2021 gold coins is a notch on the edge at the 6 o'clock position sculpted into the collar die as an anti-counterfeiting device. The notch interrupts the edge reading, which that's not really, to me, a very a good anti-counterfeiting device, because that seems like that could be very easy to fake. The notch will also appear on the American Eagle reverse of 2021 silver issues, but in reality it's the edge. It's not the reverse or the obverse. It's the edge. And because of the changes, some collectors are speculating whether mule error coins could be struck, mispairing some of the years of obverses and reverse designs. But the obverse of the American Eagle reverse of 2021 gold coins, the 6-pointed stars encircling in the border, number 46 differing from the 50 of the 1986 design. 46 stars appeared on the St. Gaudens gold $20 double eagle when introduced in 1907, whose design was modified for use on the American gold eagles in 1986. The number of stars was increased to 48 in 1912, recognizing the addition of 2 new states to the Union, those states being, I think, New Mexico and Arizona. Other differences are easily observed between the obverses of the reverse of 2021 gold coins and the reverse of 1986 gold coins. Liberty's nose is more defined rather than looking like a loser from a pugilistic bout. Okay, all right, well, we'll see how that looks when we look at it more closely. The letters in Liberty are more closely spaced. The end of the branch in Liberty's left hand is closer to the end of the 9th sun ray, and the branch is thicker. The number of leaves and their positions on the branch differ. Yes, we'll see that for sure. Don't know why they did that, but they did it. The date digits are moved slightly right. Sculptor Augustus St. Gaudens' designer initials monogram is moved up and right on the 2nd ray, so not to touch the oak leaves. 14 sun rays instead of 13 are to Liberty's right, or the viewer's left. Rays to her left are longer. The stars touching the Capitol are shifted. The folds and texture of Liberty's gown differ, and wait till you see that. The W mint mark is slightly thinner. Liberty's right foot and sandal are much less noticeable. So the silver modifications are as follows, to add off Weinmann's Walking Liberty $50 obverse design that was adopted for use on the American Silver Eagles introduced in 1986. Differences in the obverse on the reverse of 2021 coins versus the reverse of 1986 issues include Weinmann's designer's monogram to be added to the right field below "In God We Trust." It's probably the biggest change. The letters in the motto are thicker, and the U does not have a descending tail. "In God" is closer to "We Trust" below. The letters in Liberty have small serifs, and the L tilts more to the left. The palm and finger joints of Liberty's right hand are less defined. Liberty's trailing sandaled right foot is further from the rim, and the sandal is less defined. The mountains from which the sun rises are smoothed out. The toes and sandal on Liberty's left foot are not as defined. And that's a common theme here, not as defined. That's not what we want. We want more defined. Liberty's hair is not as defined. The folds in Liberty's gown are flattened. The date is larger with the digits in 2021 from a different font. The U.S. Mint did not provide responses to the Coin World's questions about the design modification. Observations of the differences were made by Coin World staff members. I'm going to give you my rendition of these designs here, but let's take a look first at the reverses again. Here is a new reverse, and there's where that notch is. In this case, it looks like the 12 o'clock position will be the 6 o'clock position since it's a coin turn die. So there it is. The eye does kind of look a little bit weird here, but otherwise, I believe that the eagle's head, they had to use it. I wish they wouldn't have. I would have preferred a different design. It's like this is the head side. This is technically the reverse, but usually the head side is the head of the coin. Nonetheless, it seems like they could have extended the feathering and the body out to the rim of the coin to really kind of further match the obverse. But nonetheless, there's that. Here is the silver eagle. We can see here the details here. The details in this actually look very good, although again, I don't like that the wing is cut off here. You've heard me mention that before in my criticism of this design. And yes, the eagle is in flight, getting ready to land, but it really looks like the eagle is bowing its head in defeat and is somewhat apropos for the kind of woke society we live in today here in America. We are certainly not the nation we once were, unfortunately, and it's a sad state of affairs. So in a sense that this design is somewhat appropriate, as it looks like the eagle's head is in defeat rather than in victory. And even with this eagle here looking ahead here, strange look in the eye. It's almost kind of apropos to kind of the society we live in today. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into that. But let's take a look at first we'll look at the silver eagle. There's the original design of the silver eagle. We can see it there. And the features that are so common. And I will note that this design has been somewhat refreshed, very minor details throughout the time since 1986. For those of you who collect eagles will have seen some of this. The font and Liberty has been changed somewhat, and just other factors, minor details have been changed. But look at the details. Now let's take a look at the new reverse here. So there you can see, if you flip back and forth between them, you can really see the difference. See how thick the "In God We Trust" is. That's kind of interesting. In a sense, in a way, kind of unnecessary. And Liberty is more defined in the lettering there. This shows it washed out, but it really isn't that washed out with the Liberty font there. But you can see the branches and the look of the coin, not as defined, very defined there in the flag and the stripes of the flag. Whereas here, it's defined in a different way. I'll say that. But it does look like the feet aren't quite as refined here as it is there. You see that there? Now look at it here. Interesting. We'll zoom into that and see that it's not as defined. That's kind of unfortunate. This is kind of odd there at the end of that foot. If we zoom down to that, we can see, it's kind of similar there, but nonetheless, the rays of the sun, so look at the difference. And the sun there. Zooming back out, let's look at the head. So there's the head of the original. Here's the head of the new. A quite different look. In fact, much more feminine, much more graceful. Look at the knocker on that nose. Look at that huge knocker. Very strange looking. Lady Liberty looks like a man, baby. Horrible. Much more feminine. much more grotesque. That knocker, that nose is just massive. That honker on the Lady Liberty is a mess. Other subtle changes. And there that is. Now let's go to the gold. There's the gold reverse. The original reverse or obverse of the gold coin, which is a stunning, stellar, very defined design, I think. Beautiful. Notice these branches here. Now look here. Watch this area here. Look at the change there. Very interesting indeed. And there you see it. Notice this shifting of the Augusta St. Gaudens over this way and the branches. These branches here. And how they kind of thicken up and kind of branch out in that way. Let's take a look here closer here. We can see Lady Liberty's face, the flame and everything with her face. And let's take a look at this. To me, this is much more defined. The nose is flat. I will give it that. The nose is flat. But this nose is just weird looking. And the eyes look hollowed out. This almost looks like she's gaunt. Almost like she's dead. It's somewhat to this point here, but not as pronounced as the large ocular areas here. Almost looks like Lady Liberty's eyes are sunken in. And the hair is not as defined. For sure. Much more defined hair here. Looks much better in the original in my view. The hand gripping, the torch there is a little bit more pronounced. I guess that's good, but it's not. That front finger kind of looks a little strange, but the hair is not nearly as flowing and as defined. It looks like a big gobbly mess with the hair. That's very unfortunate. Horrible. At least in this rendering, it's pretty bad looking. Now, the thing that turns me off the most is the draping gown. Let's look at the area right here with the gown. I'm going to zoom into that area here. Look at the kind of the strange rough pattern there. It's not flowing. It looks rough. It just does not look good at all in my view. The folds look more flowing in this version here. Not very good in my opinion. Moving out, let's take a look at the Capitol building. There's a Capitol building. I'm going to take a closer look at that. To me, the Capitol building on the original obverse is much better than this. Much less defined. It's just kind of a soft appearance of the Capitol. It looks like a cartoon drawn by a kid. It's a small portion of the coin, but nonetheless very defined here on the original. Very defined. And the feet here are also very nicely done, whereas here they look decrepit. And I don't even see a foot here. Where's the foot here? That foot's like it's gone. There's the foot on the original one. The missing foot. There's no foot there. Doesn't that tell us about something about our country? It's missing a complete foot. The foot is completely gone. Sad. Sad indeed. Horrible. Horrible. Zooming back out. Very good. All right, so there it is. Let's take a look at this whole section here. Right there in the middle. Now let's capture this again right there in the middle. And you can see here the foot just kind of meshes in with the stone. It's just, I mean, I hope this is just I hope the actual coin isn't this bad. Because if it is, it's going to be horrible. Where's the foot? I don't even see the foot there. Very disappointing to compare these. Very disappointing. Horrible. Horrible changes. And they're supposed to have security features in these. To me, this is going to be much easier to fake. You can see the date is more pronounced here than on that one. It's moved down a little bit. So we flip back and forth between these two. You can see the differences. And I don't like it. Not one bit. But here, let's look at the Liberty. the branches that kind of clouds up the Y here in Liberty. No reason to do that, really. This was further away, outside. It just didn't make sense to me to do that, but I don't understand it. But there it is. All right. So there's the differences. The new OBVERSE design changes. Not good. Disappointing in my view. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.